Hey Nick, what's happening? It's Josh. So I wanted to just walk you through some of these examples, right? So you asked a couple of really good questions. One, I'm going to go into Teams, right? And you asked, hey, if I were to put a program on a team, how can I get the days to switch, right? So by clicking on Teams, right, we'll start there. And so let's click on a specific team. Let's click on Seth as an example. Now, if you click on Seth has a blank calendar, right? And so if I click in the top right-hand corner to add something from the library, these programs that you're seeing here, the Parisi ones, and let me clear out the Train Heroic programs quickly. So by clicking on these, what they actually are is they're real-time programming from Parisi. And when I say real-time, it means they're programming, and by clicking this and setting this up in this way, what you're doing is you're supposed to really not by athlete. You'll set up this should be like a team called, total performance, right? And so the idea here is that you have programming in real time for your coaches. So it's not actually meant to be specific and making sure the days are updated for the athlete and things like that. The real job that we're looking to do is deliver programming for the coaching staff. So you'd be able to use your phone, and if it's Tuesday, there's two TP2 training sessions each week. So if it's Tuesday and you're working with an athlete that hasn't been there that week, you're going to use Mondays, right? If it's Tuesday and they've been there already and it's their second day, you're going to use the second training session. So the dates are less important in this specific instance. Now, if you wanted to, you could absolutely adjust the days, and here's how to do that. You'll click in the top right hand corner to copy and edit, and what you're doing there is you're saying, hey, this is my session now. So you're making your own copy of it. Let's click back to the calendar. It's now unpublished, so you can kind of move it around. Really, you can do whatever you want to it. Okay, then you're going to in the top right hit publish. Right now, if you wanted to adjust it, now you can just edit it. So anything that you're getting from Parisi, you need to basically, in order to edit, you got to click copy and edit. And you can adjust anything about it, right? Like you could adjust what's actually in there. You could add sets and reps. I mean, it's at that point your session, and then you can move it around. So if you needed to, you absolutely could. But really, the intention of just providing Parisi's programming for you and to you is so that you could do this, right? You're going to go to Teams. You'll create Teams is a little bit misleading in Parisi's context. What you're really doing here is you're creating a list of different classes that you offer, right? So an example of that might be a team called like Jumpstart, right? And each team has an access code, and the reason you have this is eventually, so I'll make that access code Jumpstart 22, right? But eventually you're going to have just the opportunity to train actual teams, right? So if you're training a sports team or something like that, the access code is what they would use to download the app. When they type in that code, they now have access to this. You're not going to give that out for the class listing, right? The class listing is just for your coaches. So I've got Jumpstart, and I'm going to, in the top right-hand corner, go here, and let's use Jumpstart. That's a one-time setup. So any coach now can use their phone and actually see Jumpstart programming. Now, if it's Thursday and I'm working with athletes, there's 3 Jumpstart sessions each week. So I got to understand as a coach, hey, this is the first time that they're here. I'm probably just going to use day 1. If it's the second time this week, I might use day 2, right? If it's their 4th time, then I got to make a choice. But the way that Parisi HQ has set this up is there's 3 Jumpstart classes each week. So this is how I'd set up teams. Okay, now if you want to train an individual athlete like Seth, for example, the whole workflow is different. But that's kind of the second job that we'll do. So first, let's create this class listing, just like you see here with Jumpstart. Right. Next, we'll get into athletes and actually training individual athletes. We can program for them and do all those types of things. But the way that we'll start this initially is actually just to create the class and then have that program set up. That's why we're not going back to day 1. It's basically continuous programming, as if somebody's just walking into the gym. They're doing what we're doing today, right? You have some ability to jump from day to day using the actual app. But let me know which questions you have on that, and I hope that helps, Nick.